Welcome to Pop Kannon. My name is Jordan.
I am still Robert.
I am Andrew, again.
And I'm Paul.
Sick.
Here we are for episode 35. 35 episodes in. And today we are discussing the Showtime series Dexter, as we are featuring it on our S1E1 series.
Yeah, we make a nice triumphant return to S1E1. Our last one was Lost. So we're going through just like big name TV shows now.
For those of you who have never listened to an S1E1 episode before, you're in for a treat. We'll break it down really quick for you. We take a show. Some of us have seen it. Some of us have never seen it. And we watch the very first episode of it, the pilot episode, and we give the raw initial thoughts from just that episode to see if we continue watching it, and just overall thoughts. So, speak now or forever hold your peace on who has not seen the series before. I have, so who has not?
I have not.
I also have not.
I've seen a lot of it, but I never finished it.
Yeah, so let's dive right into it. Why not? What'd you guys think?
So I thought it was a good pilot. I'm interested to continue forward into the show. I think that it hooked both me and Amanda. But there were just some weird things about it. And also, it's Showtime, so like, why are they so averse to nudity? Because there's a few moments where it would have probably made sense, and they just were like, no, we're fine. But otherwise, I thought it was a good episode. Some other weird shit happening disregarded.
Paul?
I didn't love it. What I liked was the dialogue. I liked the humor. I liked the girlfriend that he felt he had to have in order to keep up the charade. You know, it's good. It's good. I like the way it ended. It kind of hooks you for sure. Like I don't think I would watch the show again, but I can see how that's a really good setup for like getting somebody to want to watch more. But yeah, it's, what I didn't like is, for me, the fact that he was like a serial killer as well as he had like a career in forensics. To me, that felt like the whole Clark Kent being a reporter and also being Superman. Just, I know, it's maybe like 2 steps away from that or something, but maybe it's not exactly that, but to me it like felt like that. Like I just, like who was the lady that was sort of like their boss?
Lieutenant LaGuerta.
Yeah, when she's like talking to him after the head hits his car, I just feel like if anybody was actually in her position, they would suspect him. At least to like a small degree. At least, you know what I mean? Like, it is funny that he was coincidentally there.
She seemed blinded by lust.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
But I mean, like, I suppose those are small gripes. So overall, it's a good pilot for a series.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's lacking in a lot of shows today. Like, the pilots like don't really set up anything, which are that I guess that's.
It's so fucking funny to me that you brought up Clark Kent and Superman, because I definitely felt like the callbacks to his childhood were Clark and Pa Kent.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Like, you're different than everyone else,
there were,
you know?
There were weird superhero story beats.
Yeah.
Within the pilot, which was interesting.
Yeah, it was so. And for most of it, honestly, for most of the show, I liked the lighting that they went with. I thought it really, the contrast and stuff like that, and having it in Miami, which is like super vibrant and neon and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how the lights were able to play off of all of the characters in different situations. And then there was when he was like a teen and his dad found that like thing of knives with all the blood on them. The lighting was like directly overhead.
Yeah,
I guess.
it was like super dramatic.
Super dramatic, and I was just like, this is a bit over the top now. And also, I just want to point out in that scene and then throughout the episode, Dexter's the only person in Miami that perspires a fuckload.
Oh, yeah, he sweats a lot.
I
think what
that
the
was
fuck?
only shown in the pilot because
I
throughout
hope
the
so.
series there's a bunch of other people that sweat that much.
Okay, or they just could have curbed it all together, but I guess if they were filming on location, you're going to have the sweat.
Yeah.
But I was like, his shirt is drenched, and he is fucking, his face looks like he dipped his head in a pool, and everybody else is just standing around like it's no fucking big deal, and I'm like, this is disgusting. Does he have a problem? Does he need to see a
He's
clinician?
got hyperhidralgia, is that what it's called?
Andrew, what'd you think?
Shit, dude, it's been 7 or so years since I've watched this series.
I mean, the pilot was from 2006.
Yeah, which is crazy because I watched it. I think it's been a long time, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good pilot. I feel like the pacing is really well done. You introduce all the characters. They managed to cram a lot of development.
Yeah,
They crammed so much in.
But it doesn't ever feel too forced, I felt like. It all kind of felt like it flowed pretty nicely.
And it wasn't too full, I don't think, either.
Yeah. And
for as much as they get in there, like, everything kind of felt like it wasn't being like, well, we have to touch on this.
Yeah.
It was a solid hour of TV that you learned everything you had to learn to get the series going. And, and it's dark and gory and everybody's sweaty and gross.
I've watched through the entire show.
It just gets sweatier.
It does get sweatier, but I really enjoyed it. And rewatching the pilot, it's been quite a few years since I've rewatched it. Probably since it ended. I think right after the series ended, I went back and rewatched some of it.
Yeah.
But didn't make it all the way through. I think I stopped after 5 on my second rewatch. But from the pilot, seeing the way that certain characters are set up and portrayed is really cool and really interesting to see the arc and the character growth that they go through. Speaking of, who is everybody's favorite character in the show?
I mean, it's probably, at this point, just Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a short list of characters I don't like. But I found it interesting that they led off by basically having him say that he doesn't feel things the way people do, but he's good at faking them.
Mm-hmm.
And then showing him in a lot of different interpersonal situations throughout the first episode and him having to deal with those. Between the lady at work that likes him, his girlfriend who didn't want to bone and that now wants to bone, playing with her children, and then interacting obviously with the people that he murders.
Yeah.
Like, they really spread wide the type of person that he is. So for him to say that he doesn't feel emotions, for me, feels kind of disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
Just on its face, because like he clearly was interacting with some of those people and he liked some of them for sure and doesn't like some of them, but I like also in the way that some of it was written, I feel like this little corner of Miami has the most socially awkward people ever. Because everybody was just fucking
Cringe.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like super
I thought
cringy.
about that like while I was watching it today.
They're all like caricatures almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, his sister is so fucking mega awkward. But not
Yeah.
even like they wrote her to be cutesy awkward, or like it was almost like the actress didn't know what the fuck she was supposed to be doing.
But it's interesting that you say that, because knowing where her character ends up is super interesting.
I just was like, what the fuck? And then obviously his girlfriend, like Paul had said, that he's supposed to have to keep up appearances. She's mega awkward, and they explain that she has a situation which causes her to be that. But she's fucking weird. Like, nobody's just like a person, you know? And then like evil black guy at work hates him for no reason because he like sees who he is or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's the surprise motherfucker guy.
Yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. But like in his first scene, I was like, wow. Fuck.
Well, it's funny because you're like, man, this guy's being a real dick. And you're like, oh, no, wait, he's a serial killer.
I mean, I guess I would have to say Dexter too, to be honest. But I guess, like, to make it more interesting, I'll say that it's the serial killer that he's like tracking.
Yes.
Because that's a really interesting. Like that's what gets you to want to watch the next episode. Really, is like
The intrigue.
Like, who is this person, and you know what's going on, and all that. I thought that was really cool, and I like that there's a Sherlock Holmes type of like breakdown to the murders that he does, because he's like so into it. He's like, oh no, you know, this isn't this, and this happened this way, and I like that sort of thing.
No, and it's cool because like you do get introduced to these people, and they become like way more interesting. And I noticed that during this episode specifically, like they really only focused on Dexter. They really didn't dive deep beyond like the bare surface of these characters and what they're supposed to be like and stuff.
Which I think is probably why they all kind of felt like caricatures and
Yeah.
where it was just kind of like, this is their personality trait, this is their personality trait, here's Dexter.
Yep.
I have to get out of Vice, Dexter.
And then here's the creepy guy is like, hey, there's no blood. Like, cool.
Oh, dude. So something that I really liked, and I think it was supposed to be part of the humor of the show, but I might have just thought it was funny. But Dexter sarcastically speaking Spanglish with people,
Oh, yeah.
fucking made me laugh. Like him just responding to that guy, like
Angel.
yeah, oh my god, dude, that made me laugh so hard. And I don't know if it was supposed to or not, but it really did.
But that like, it feels like he's got some sort of relationship with these people, like that he interacts with on a daily basis in order to joke around like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew, favorite character?
I guess just from this episode, you know, you have to say Dexter, but knowing where it goes, there's a lot of other characters I start to like a lot more, and other ones I start to hate a lot more.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
They twist and turn you on characters in this show, and it's great.
I like Angel.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dexter is probably the most interesting character, and then they start having the, you know, the other. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give anything away, but
Yeah.
Dexter. I mean, just he is the focus, and he does have, you know, if you like creepy, gory violence, I guess. I don't know.
What did you guys think about his foster father?
Weirdo. Who, like, once he discovers that his foster son has this issue, seems to want to, like, use him to solve some of his own problems.
He is also kind of an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. We had an agreement. That kind of shit was weird. And then he was just like, well, what if we use it for good? It was like definitely like a superhero origin, like you said. Like, it was so weird. But yeah, the foster father was weird. And then that lighting in that last sequence that we get him in made him like super fucking scary.
I think, too, because we're supposed to be thinking about it as Dexter, So like the dramatic lighting, it's like that's part of his memory, like, and that the other details of the scene didn't matter. At least lighting.
Yeah, that's fair. But I also kind of looked ahead, just because I was curious.
Oh,
But I'm happy that the show is not a one and done every episode. Find a serial killer, track him, kill him, end of episode.
Like
Yeah.
Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm very glad that it's not that, because that's kind of what I thought was going to be happening going in, and I was sort of dreading it.
really? Why were you dreading it?
Just because I did,
You don't
because
like
it
that
doesn't
trope?
that idea doesn't sound exciting to me at all, because you could watch literally 50 other network shows that open and shut cases in an hour. So I like the idea that he gets one or two like low level things that are happening throughout, and then there's an overarching for the whole season.
Yeah.
Like that, I think is fucking cool. So I was really interested and impressed by the fact that they were like, oh no, we're gonna write this, as opposed to just like, what kind of fucked up serial killer could we do today, like it's SVU or something.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I really thought I was going in and it was just like, okay, so the guy with the, you know, it pulls out at the beginning and it's like the kids singing, and then you get the creepy dude, and I'm like, oh, he diddles kids. Dexter's gonna kill the kid diddler by the end of the episode, and then I was like, oh, we're 10 minutes in and he's fucking ripped. All right, this is cool. Where are we going now?
yeah, it's definitely a good way to get your attention by killing the kid diddler in the first 10 minutes of the show.
What everyone think of that scene where he's like screaming at the guy?
I thought that was probably the best characterization of his psychopathy. Like, was really good that they did that up front.
Yeah.
Because then you get him through the rest of the episode fucking handing out donuts to people.
Yeah, he's like charming.
Right. Like, so you know that where he's capable of being and then where he is, and you're like, oh, he's functioning. This is interesting.
Well, there's even the scene after he kills the second guy, and Rita calls him, and he's like covered in blood and hacking up a body, and he's just like, yellow?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a project, but I could swing by later.
But then he even does a thing when he hangs up, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, and turns around and goes back to putting body parts in
Right.
a bag.
There's like a beat where he's just like, ooh,
It's like,
you know,
what was I
doing
yeah,
again?
Did I forget to turn the coffee maker off?
Right.
Like he's just thinking
Yeah.
of like mundane things.
Oh no.
Also,
murder.
he would be a lot less sweaty if he didn't keep those blood slides in his AC unit, because he definitely can't run that thing with that box in there.
No, he does, apparently.
Well, I'm saying that's why he's so fucking sweaty.
Maybe.
There's clearly an obstruction in his AC unit.
Yeah, and it's evidence of all the many people he's murdered.
Yeah, he opened that box. I was like, wow, there's like 20 in there already.
Oh yeah.
What'd you guys think about that as far as like his trophies?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, also, why would you keep it?
Because serial
Wow.
killers do that sort of shit?
Why would you keep the evidence?
That's a nifty tool that's going to come back later to bite him in the ass. That's what that is.
That's a bold statement.
I mean, why else would you show us at the very beginning that he keeps all of the blood splatter trophy? You know, like, I feel like that's definitely got to come back to roost at some point.
He turns over a new leaf in the next episode,
Right, he throws them away.
and then it becomes like a CSI show after that, just like a regular.
God damn it.
Yeah. So the first episode's really good, and the next like 8 seasons, it's all just CSI.
I liked the scene when he's breaking down the what did they keep calling it, the cokehead murder?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. When he finally when he gets like bullied into going there to write a report, which I was like, well, that's way overstepping. Okay. When he's like breaking that down and explaining like, oh, this one was supposed to be quick and the other one he was supposed to be taking time with, like, that was cool.
Yeah, how they have like the blood spatter stuff set up, and that's crazy to me that that's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Like a real career that people do, and they like could tell stories just by like seeing the way that blood is on the wall. You know, like that's cool to me.
I mean,
Yeah, that was interesting.
Because this series was based off a book.
A series of books.
What's the author's name?
Jeff Lindsay, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck, man.
The show's first season was derived from the novel Darkly Dreaming Dexter in 2004.
Okay.
They were in our mystery section at the bookstore that shall not be named that we worked at.
Yeah.
What did we think of the music?
I like it. I mean, it fits the area of Miami they're in, you know.
Yeah, I liked that it fit Miami. I liked that it was kind of like upbeat in a way, but also like dark.
Yeah, I don't know that I paid much attention to it other than it was like, oh yeah, it's Miami.
Yeah.
But I didn't not like it. I wasn't like, wow, this sucks. But there was a moment in the episode when they go to that like outdoor club.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what else to call that.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that was one of the scenes that made me fucking laugh.
Yeah. So like they walk in and she just grabs a mallet and starts hammering away at Dungeness Crab. And I was like, first of all, the way that they're hammering, they're not going for meat.
Yeah.
They're just hammering. You're gonna pulverize your fucking crab, dude.
God, for God's sake. That really bugged me.
Yeah. And I was like, did they pay a cover? Because who's just going to let you walk up and eat crab like that?
That's what I imagine. It's probably like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you pay to get into the party or whatever.
Yeah, you had to have paid to get in, but they, like, obviously they skipped that part because nobody wants to see him taking a $20 bill out of his pocket and handing it to a guy. Like, I get it, but like,
But they were...
when they just walk in and she just walks up to the table and starts fucking hammering away, I'm like, whose crab was that? How did you pay for, like, all of these, like, logistical things come up in my brain.
Do you want just little bits of shell in the meat that you're pulverizing right
now?
What are
See,
you
but
doing?
I've never, like, eaten crab like that before, so, like, if in my mind, that didn't stick out to me as, like, weird.
Well, okay, so the veracity with which they were smashing the crab is almost as if they were carpenters building a fucking house. Okay, not required.
Like, it was like almost in time too.
Yeah.
With the music.
It was just like everybody was just hammering a table with crabs on.
Yeah, I mean,
weird.
As someone that grew up and spent the first 29 years of their life in Maryland, I can tell you that's not how you eat a fucking crab.
No, it's not. It made me so fucking uncomfortable. And then she had a big chunk of meat from the claw, and I'm like, there's no way she cracked that with that fucking hammer that way.
You just...
Because she sent all the claw, she sent all of the shell into it, and she would have had to pick it out. It would have been a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah, everybody knows you try to do that thing where you separate the tips of the claw a little bit and try to pull the meat out, and it rarely works, but when you get it, it's fucking sweet. And you dip it a little bit in butter, and it's incredible. And all the hard work is worth it. You don't just pulverize the fucking...
I'm so glad that scene fucked with all of us. That's great. And then he's like, it's like also a party that's happening, and he sees an errant cop in the background, and he fucking tunnel visions onto it. And like leaves her. I'll be right back, and just fucking leaves her there.
Well, he brings her with.
Hilarious.
He brings her with him.
Yeah, but
to the end of it, and then continues forward.
His exact words were, "They might need me."
Yeah, like he's fucking Batman.
Like,
another Superman as fuck thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I said, like out loud watching it. I was like, because Jen was watching it with me, and I was like, I feel like it would just be better if he were a news reporter and not like a forensics guy. There would be less suspicion. I don't know. It was a good pilot.
It was a good pilot, and I think it's interesting that it's like it was filmed as a pilot. Like they weren't sure if it was going to be picked up by the network or not.
Is that why they stayed away from showing some things?
That's what I imagine.
Okay, because I just was like he's in that creepy valet guy's house, with the accordion door, the only accordion door in existence that could hold back a fucking German Shepherd, and he like finds Bondage magazine.
Yeah, you know.
And then
Bondage
what the
magazine.
fuck was it? Scream, bitch, scream.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Dude, I fucking laughed when I saw the name of the website.
It's so over the top that you're like, oh, I just want to watch this guy die. And then but it's still just like, okay, let's
I was mad when he was stealing the copper pipes from the abandoned building. I was like, oh, that's scumbag.
yeah.
He's going to get his.
Never mind the snuff porn. You know how much of those copper pipes cost the city?
Like, it's not even his house that he moved out of. It's like he's going to a place that's under construction and just stealing shit. Like, what a scumbag thing to do.
That's a real problem. Especially when you say they filmed this 2006. It was pre-recession, so everybody was still pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't need those pipes.
Yeah, he didn't need those
He's
pipes.
just doing it to be a dick.
Get a better job, you fucking
Yeah,
loser. Like,
your tattoo's stupid.
was I the only one that was like mildly curious that if Scream Bitch Scream was a real website?
No.
No.
I think at the time, they redirected it to Showtime's, like they bought the
I
domain.
hope so.
And they redirected it to Showtime's website.
Yeah, they hopefully they didn't redirect it to like a rape website or whatever the fuck that was supposed to be. I just like the name was so fucking funny to me. And then when he sits down in front of his computer and like types it in, I was just like, oh my god, he's going to it.
Another thing is like, if you're killing people on that website, why would you just advertise it in a magazine?
No, he wasn't killing them in the video. It was just like a rape site.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was like
So
it was like a fantasy thing. It was like kink.com or whatever the fuck that is. But like it was just so weird that and then he just didn't look at like anything else in the house. He found the fucking bondage website. He's like, this is the guy.
Well, he found the camera.
Yeah, but the camera, like, he didn't look at the camera. He picked it up and went, oh, a camera, and put it down. And then was like, Bondage magazine. Let me thumb through this motherfucker for a while. While the dog was barking at the door that definitely should not have held him back. But no, honestly, I had a lot of fun watching it. And then him fucking waving at people while he's driving his boat. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
How you doing, Mr. Thompson? You know? Got some marlins on there? Like,
I like that he was like, yeah, I'm really good at faking it.
Yeah.
he is.
Because he is.
You know what's weird? He was apparently married to the actress that played Deb for a few years.
Yeah, they got married for like 2 or 3 years on the show.
oh, the broad that plays his sister?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Jennifer Carpenter. She's great. She was in like White Chicks and The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of stuff. Quarantine. What did you guys think of his kill room that he would create?
Oh, so like his setup that he
Yeah.
would do like for everything? Yeah. So first of all, did not expect the needle to the neck thing. That was interesting that he kept doing that. I'm assuming that like knocks them out and paralyzes them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like almost like a local anesthetic or something that he could like that they can't really move or
Just
whatever.
Pump them full of horse tranquilizer.
Yeah. And then waits for them to wake up apparently and then continues on with what he's doing. Well, he has to set up his whole thing.
Yeah.
Like he's got to, sterile fields and whatnot and
Get them naked.
yeah, get him naked, strap him down with plastic wrap.
Yep, saran wrap.
Most of the time, saran wrap. I liked when when he was in the car with the guy. Obviously, he just popped up in the back seat like Chucky. But
With the
when
piano wire?
Yeah.
But when he did it to the valet guy, he just wrapped his own face in saran wrap, so you couldn't really recognize him.
But I like
Oh yeah.
how nonchalant he is. He just like boop and sticks him in the neck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking for that it was more like of an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
Similar to like, oh, I need this guy scared because he's like a bigger dude and he's like gonna be, no, fuck you, man. But if he's looking like this insane, crazy person, it's gonna put that guy in a different mindset.
That's probably the case, but just like initially watching it, I was like, oh, he's like, this is just his level of crazy that he's willing to go to.
Yeah.
Oh,
he just wraps his own fucking face in saran wrap and is like, hi. Like,
but it's just he just needs to get it done. You know what I mean? Where he's just kind of like, oh, I'm not sorry. He's like, yeah, I'm not sorry either.
Well, the first dude, he took a power drill to his face.
Yeah.
And then the second dude, he took like an axe to him.
Or like the big ass butcher knife.
The cleaver. Yeah. So, does the show get more gory as it goes on?
I would say, in certain areas.
The first episode has several dismembered bodies. It starts off pretty
but
gory.
Like, I don't know why. Like, so, I mean, they said it a million times. There was no blood.
Yeah.
So I felt like they were shopping this pilot on several different.
They might have been.
And that's why it was
light,
a little cleaner than it probably winds up being. And also there was like no nudity, and they only cursed like a few times. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Well, apparently,
like they could have sold that to AMC or FX or like
right
that
here
kind
it says
of
in
shit.
2007 CBS announced it would broadcast the show over the public airwaves, which sparked controversy with Parents Television Council.
Shit. And if they cleaned up a few of those like minor moments, you could show a dismembered body on TV.
Yep.
Like that's not a big deal as long as there's no blood.
It's not
so
gruesome.
how fucking convenient that this guy is the ice truck killer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was a really good idea on the writer's behalf to sell the fucking show.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this pilot.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, let's write it in. It's fine. You know, we'll catch our footing with this shit. No matter who buys it, we'll figure it out. And then they got like a paid subscription network, and they were like, oh, we could loosen the reins a little bit, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do. It's funny. I see a note here. Jennifer Carpenter's character, Deb, known for her frequent swearing, used the word fuck 996 times throughout the show's 8-season run.
So close. So close to 1,000.
So, yeah, I'd say they loosen the reins a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. No, I'm definitely interested to watch more of it. I think that it hooked both of us enough that she might want to actually be like, you want to watch that show again?
That's exciting.
So, yeah.
Paul, why did you say earlier that you wouldn't continue watching it?
I don't know. I don't know. I just I'm just not crazy about the whole like I'm basically dead inside and I kill people because that's the only thing that makes me feel good. I don't know, but I'm sure it's great. I'm just not like it doesn't draw me in as I want to see what happens to him. Like I ended up not really caring about anyone in the show, I guess.
Okay.
And that's fair.
What I'll say about that is Dexter definitely grows, and all of the characters grow, and
he probably becomes more likable.
Yeah, no, certain characters you grow to like really enjoy, certain characters you fucking hate, and then they flip you throughout the whole series.
I'm gonna say this: season 4 is incredible.
Yeah, season 4 is one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched.
Like.
And then if you watched the show to season 4 and stop at the end of it and never watch another episode again, you're probably better off.
Season 4 is the high point.
Every season after that just gets less, while as everything before that builds and it peaks in season 4. Like the show hit its fever pitch, and then everything else after that just kind of felt less and less.
I mean, Jordan, you watched the ending, but I feel like we've all had to have heard about the ending, right?
I haven't. I don't think I remember. I remember it being a thing, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, let's not spoil it on here.
Just because, like, I remember, like, it wasn't... It like, the ending of the show like some shows get a divisive ending, but I don't think it was divisive to anybody who was a fan of this show. I think everybody abjectly hated it.
Yeah. I think
like
that's
across the board.
I think that's
like,
a
I don't
good
think there was
assessment.
anybody that was like in comment sections online like, no, I think it was good because of this. Like everybody was like, that fucking sucked.
Yeah. It wasn't like Game of
Wow.
Thrones where everyone was like half and half, or like Lost where everyone was like half and half. This was a very negative reaction. The
Damn.
whole season, like that whole entire final season, just garbage.
But season 4,
Season 4, the highest of
Yeah.
highs. It stars John Lithgow.
Oh
reprising
shit.
Yeah.
his role from Third Rock from the Sun.
Fuck, that gets
Yeah.
so weird.
It gets really out there, but it's good.
I have to murder an alien.
Yeah, once you're like, why are they introducing aliens? And you're like, oh, I get it now. That's why.
So, is there anything that you guys want more answers from the pilot? Like, is there a character you want to know more about, that, like, one specific thing or story beat that stuck out to you that makes you want to, yeah, I kind of want to see what happens with that?
I hope the police captain gets laid by somebody other than Dexter. Just so she'll back off. Like, good God.
She thirsty.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hot in Miami. We've seen the sweat down his back. He sweats through multiple Raglan t-shirts. It's crazy.
And his white pants.
Speaking of that, I thought it was funny that Deb was like, wait, did you sleep with her? And he's like, what?
Yeah.
No. And she's like, oh my God, ew.
Yeah, they definitely have a weird chemistry happening. And then he like announces at the beginning of the show, if I did have feelings, it would be for my sister. And I was like, wow, this is weird.
Anyone else? What was one like story beat or thread or moment or character that you want to like dive deeper into?
Does angry black guy like redeem himself, or is that just all he does?
You like you'll like his character.
You will like his character.
He's just a dickbag in
Okay.
the beginning, but
It pays
yeah.
off. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Alright.
that's one of the best parts of the show is how they flip flop everybody, and you're like, what the fuck? This
It
shithead,
reminded
and then you
me
love him.
of. It reminded me when I was watching Game of Thrones and seeing someone like Cersei, where you fucking hated her at the beginning, and then like towards the middle, you were like, you know what? I kind of feel bad for her. She's okay, and then she completely like does not redeem herself in any way, shape, or form, and she becomes an asshole
Yeah.
again. Like it reminded me of Dexter because Dexter does that.
Okay.
I would say at least if you get through the first season and you're not into it, then you're not into it. But I can't stress enough how good season 4 is. Like when I
Yeah.
first watched it, I watched the first 2 seasons, and the person I was watching it with was like, "Fuck this! We're not watching season 3. We're watching season 4." And we skipped right down. I was
You
like,
just
"Oh,
skipped
okay, that's fine."
Wow.
And it was worth it. Yeah.
No shit.
Well,
That's crazy.
So definitely, yeah. It's I can't recommend that enough.
so either Paul, do you have any thread that you want to see?
I mean, I feel like I pretty much said it already with the other serial killer leaving that shit in his refrigerator. Like, I thought that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So, I guess just that, you know.
So I have a question for you guys because I was talking to Cheyenne about this before because she watched it with me. Do you think that the serial killer knows that Dexter is like a serial killer, or do you think that he's just like, oh, this dude was following me?
I sort of had a hunch that he knew that he was a serial killer for some weird reason, but I guess there was no reason.
Yeah, I would say that he probably didn't know initially and then found out while he was following him because, Dexter's not the only one that could read a license plate before a head is thrown on his windshield.
Yep.
And that's probably what happened is what I was like, I've watched enough SVU to figure this out. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine that, especially the way Dexter worded it, like I took it as he wants to play with me or something like
Yeah.
that. He said something to that effect. So like maybe even Dexter's alluding to the fact like this dude probably knows what I do.
Right.
So that's cool. I mean, that's fun to have that back and forth, that tete-a-tete.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he's got to be more careful to not slip up, and then the other guy's got to be more careful, but he's also driving a fucking ice truck, so how are you that careful?
In the middle of the night when he was even like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
An ice cream truck in the middle of the night, that's less weird. No, that's
Is
more
it?
weird.
Hey, it's Miami.
I don't know, man. You ever been to Baltimore at like 1 o'clock in the morning and you hear an ice cream truck come around? Because that shit happens quite a lot.
Because same.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, any final thoughts on Dexter, season 1, episode 1?
I kind of want to start watching the series again because I never got to finish it. So
I think that's
And
what
you
I'm
didn't-
doing.
You didn't get to see season
yeah,
3.
and I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, dude, you got to go back and at least watch season 3.
Season 2 is a lot of fun too. Season 1's fun. Season 2's a little more
I
fun.
hear season 3 was kind of like, but then season 4 it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, season 4 completely redeemed itself.
Season 4 was season 3 skippable.
Nah, I don't know.
I mean,
about
I still
that.
want to watch it
But-
because I was invested.
I think the show's definitely worth a watch. Like I said, at least watch through the first 4 seasons. And that's not even to say the other seasons are that bad, like after that, except for that final season, because that was straight garbage. But, like, season 5 was pretty decent. That's co-starred Julia Stiles. Season 6 or 7 co-starred Colin Hanks. So, like,
Oh, shit.
there's some cool guest stars on this, and they all play, like, a really different role.
The other murderer.
This murderer.
Not necessarily.
Or a new upstart hot cop that comes into town to clean it up. That's what Colin Hanks is, right? That's got to
No.
be. Damn
No.
it.
See, this show is subverting your expectations. You were like, it's a
Already?
Monster of the Week show,
Yeah.
and it's not. And
Yeah,
so
I'm glad that it wasn't. Honestly, I'm really glad that it wasn't.
not every character also plays like a bad guy or a serial killer.
Right.
But it's interesting to see how Dexter as a character interacts with other people in different situations.
He got along with that child really easily. So,
Yeah.
like, he was like, oh, let me roll this kid off my shoulders. Like,
6 months, man. Hanging around. I guess when your dad's like a piece of shit, any type of father figure is cool.
no, man, I thought it was good. I think we might wind up watching this at
Nice.
some point.
That's cool.
Let me know when you get to season 4.
I will.
Let me know when you
I'll
watch
have
episode
to.
2.
Yeah, or that, actually.
Paul?
No, Andrew wants to know when I get to season 4, and that's all I'm going to update.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a good pilot. I went into it knowing that I was only going to watch the pilot, so I, like, looked at it through that lens, I guess. And it's just solid. It's good. You know what I mean? I personally am not crazy about the premise, but it was a good pilot.
You don't like the killer that only kills other killers?
No.
So apparently the actress that played Rita originally auditioned for the role of Deb.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. So the girlfriend wanted to play the sister.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the showrunner or someone didn't want Michael C. Hall to play the role of Dexter, and then he heard him read one line of the inner monologue, and he was like, "Nope, that's him. We got it."
Oh, shit.
He does have a really good
Yeah.
voice.
Well, he also has that stare, because they said
Yeah.
they what is it? They wanted 30s, Caucasian, good looking, kind of unassuming, but can be charming. I think he was perfect for the role.
I think that he'd make a really good James Gordon Jr.
Yes,
in a Black Mirror
Oh,
film.
dude,
Fuck.
hell yeah,
What the fuck?
Right?
that would
Yeah,
be perfect.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Paul, have you read Black Mirror?
No.
Oh, man.
Paul would love
Holy
that book.
shit. Yeah, dude, you would love that book. That was a great fucking book.
What the piss is that?
Black Mirror is the first Scott Snyder Batman arc.
And it's Dick
Ever.
Grayson as Batman.
and it's Dick Grayson as Batman, and he's tracking James Gordon Jr., who's a serial killer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I think Michael C. Hall did a fantabulous job as Dexter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what you guys think of like the other characters going forward if you do continue watching, because they do evolve and they do give more backstory and better performances and stuff.
Well, if you're saying his sister gets better, I guess it's worth watching. But
I love Deb became my favorite character at one point on this show.
okay,
So
because yeah, like you said, dude, she was so cringy, man. Oh.
So yeah, this has been episode 35, S1E1 series with Dexter from Showtime. Let us know what you think. If you've seen the show, if not, go watch it, and let us know what you thought.
Yeah, and let us know if you think his sister will ever get into his secret laboratory.
Or Mandark could ruin his plans.
Well, you just
That's who's driving the fucking
way to
ice
go,
truck.
Jordan. Way to go.
We cracked the case. We've seen enough episodes of Law and Order.
It's fucking Mandar.
I thought it was Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Dexter.
What happened to Jack and Dexter?
For Pop Cannon, my name is Jordan.
I am Robert.
I'm Andrew.
Paul.
Thanks for listening. Is anyone else craving donuts?
Dude, I'm always craving donuts.
I kind of am now that you said that.
Are you going nuts for donuts?
Ah, shit. You have just finished listening to our return to the S1E1 series, and in this one we talked all about the Showtime program Dexter. Have you seen Dexter before? Is it one of your favorite shows of all time? Or did you not finish it? If you haven't, did our discussion say enough to make you interested in starting it up? That's kind of the idea behind these episodes. We discuss the pilot and see who would continue forward. Do you love Dexter Morgan? His sister Deborah? Let us know. You can follow us on any social media platform you endlessly scroll while at your desk, at Pop Cannon. You can subscribe to us on any podcast platform you use by searching Pop Cannon. Just don't forget the K. It's what your mom responds with when she passively-aggressively responds to your texts that upset her. You can also follow us individually. I, Robert, am on Twitter and Instagram at Yesball. Jordan is on Twitter and Instagram at JL24FPS. Andrew is on Twitter at flavored_red and Instagram at Android Skeleton. And Paul has a defunct Instagram account you can go look at My Dinner with Julius LaRosa. That's all for this one. Stay tuned for our next episodes, which include a review of the Disney Pixar film Onward, A Quiet Place 2, and more. Thank you for listening.